Have you ever found yourself repeatedly frustrated in relationships, wondering why your needs just aren't being met? What if I told you that many of your unmet needs from the past are influencing your current relationships more than you realize? Today, we're going to explore 7 ways that these unmet needs manifest in our relationships and provide guidance on how to break free from these cycles. Because understanding these patterns is the first step towards building healthier, more fulfilling connections with others. Step number 1, recognize the unconscious patterns. This is the first step in addressing how unmet childhood needs affect our current relationships. It is to recognize the unconscious patterns that are driving us. Many of us unconsciously seek out partners who mirror the dynamics we experience with our primary caregivers, especially when it comes to unmet needs. For instance, if you felt emotionally neglected as a child, you might find yourself attracted to emotionally distant partners, hoping to finally get the love and attention that you never received. This is why certain relationships feel so familiar. They are, in many ways, recreations of our earliest attachments. But by becoming aware of these patterns, you can start to understand why certain relationships consistently leave you feeling unfulfilled. And awareness is the first step towards change. Step number 2, understand the role of familiarity. We are so often drawn to what is familiar, even if it is dysfunctional, because it feels safe and it feels known. And the irony is that we might be unconsciously choosing partners who are incapable of meeting our needs because their behavior reminds us of what we experienced growing up. This familiarity keeps us trapped in cycles of seeking the same unmet needs from partners who are simply not equipped to provide what we are looking for. And understanding this can help us make more conscious choices in our relationships. Instead of gravitating to what feels familiar, we can start to seek out relationships that actually offer the emotional fulfillment that we truly need, even if these relationships feel uncomfortable or very unfamiliar at first, which they are highly likely to do so. Step 3, the paradox of opposites. Sometimes, in an attempt to solve our unmet needs, we swing to the opposite extreme. For example, if you had an overly controlling parent, you may well seek out a partner who's very laid back and hands off. Whilst this may seem like a solution, it often leads to further dissatisfaction because it only addresses part of the problem. The reality is that by choosing someone who is the complete opposite, we might still be missing out on other crucial needs that weren't met in our childhood. This is why it's important to strive for balance in relationships rather than extremes, and to recognize that opposites alone don't always solve the deeper issues. So it's like, I didn't get this, so I'm going to go for that. It's not going to solve it properly. So step number 4 is the influence of the Oedipal complex. I've done videos on this before if you want to know what that is specifically, but I'm going to address it just for step number 4, but not as in-depth as a previous video. So I'm going to take a moment to simplify the concept of the Oedipal complex. Freud first suggested that children develop deep attachments to the opposite sex parent, which can influence their adult relationships. While not everyone subscribes to Freud's theories, the basic idea that our early attachments shape our adult desires and behaviors still really does hold a lot of relevance. So in adulthood, we might unconsciously seek out partners who resemble the parent we were most attached to, hoping to resolve unresolved issues from our childhood. And this can lead to repetitive patterns where we seek validation or love in ways that aren't healthy or fulfilling. Recognizing this influence allows us to make more informed choices within our relationship. If you want a different viewpoint to the Oedipal complex, go check out Jung, and you would look at that your parents are your first blueprint of how to be a man, how to be a woman, what to expect from a woman, what to expect from a man. That's your father and your mother, your first blueprints. Your father was absent. I know it's a bit stereotypical. Your father's absent. That's what you're going to look for. Absent man. If your mother was overly giving, you're going to look for that because it's familiar. If she was emotionally unavailable, you're going to look for that. So it's the same kind of thing. And you're going to try and solve that issue from in then and there by something in the here and now in a relationship, or by the relationship in the here and now. Step number 5, addressing attachment styles. Attachment styles formed in childhood play a crucial role in how we relate to our partners and seek to get our needs met. Whether you have a secure, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized attachment style, these patterns will often dictate how you behave in relationships and what you expect from your partner. So understanding your attachment style, you can take the adult attachment interview if you like, will provide you insight into why you might be attracted to certain types of people and why some relationships feel way more challenging than others. It is a very powerful tool for breaking free from unhealthy patterns and developing healthier ways of relating to others. Step number 6, breaking the cycle of using self-reflection and boundaries. The key to breaking these cycles lie in self-reflection and setting clear boundaries. I go on about boundaries a lot and self-reflection. Without self-reflection, we risk repeating the same patterns over and over again. It's like having your eyes shut. Yeah, you're not aware of yourself. It's a lack of self-awareness. So self-reflection increases self-awareness, increases self-knowledge, and experience and knowledge put together equal wisdom. So we gain wisdom about ourselves if we really start doing the self-reflection and educating ourselves. So we risk repeating the same patterns over and over if we don't do this, which leads to frustration and fulfillment. From this kind of self-reflection and self-awareness wisdom, we can help develop our boundaries or see what boundaries we don't have and we should have. So boundaries help us recognize when we are seeking something from a partner that they cannot give us. Maybe it's an impossible mission for them. Maybe you've got them, as an archetype. You're the all-giving mother. It's like, well, they're going to fall off that pedestal because they're a human being. We're seeking something from a partner that they cannot give. Either they don't know what it is, or we've got them on a pedestal, whatever, they're going to fail. And then we can, from that, derive when we need to take responsibility for meeting our own needs. So engaging in deep self-reflection, whether it's through journaling, therapy, meditation, or educating yourself, can also help you identify the root of your unmet needs and understand why you're drawn to certain dynamics. From there, setting boundaries becomes essential because it's about recognizing what you truly need in a relationship and being clear about what you're willing to accept and what you need to work on yourself. Step number 7, cultivating self-love and self-sufficiency. This is the final and the most powerful step in breaking these patterns. This is to cultivate self-love and self-sufficiency. When we learn to meet our own needs, we stop relying on others to fill the voids, which have been left by unmet childhood needs. So this is the movement from the wounded inner child to being your own best parent. It's that kind of thing going on, which I've done in videos before as well. That's why inner child work is so important, because you reparent yourself. You do it yourself rather than looking for someone else to do it for you, which creates not a healthy dynamic in a relationship. So, but this doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting relationships and all of that stuff where people go, oh yeah, you have to learn to be on your own first and you have to, sit on a rock for 10 years before you can be in a relationship. It's not about that, okay? Because we do need the other in order to grow, because we get that bounce back off that environment. I digress. It's, like I said, it's not about rejecting relationships. It is actually about building a strong foundation of self-worth and self-care, because when you love and value yourself, you're less likely to tolerate relationships or dynamics, behaviors that are unfulfilling or harmful from other people. You become more capable of attracting and maintaining relationships that are healthy, balanced, mutually fulfilling. It is cliche, but it's true. When you can love yourself, you open the door for others to love you in the way that you deserve. Often when we kind of focus on what happened to us, and that would be actual things that happened to us, what we tend not to focus on are the things that we didn't get, the things that didn't happen to us. And those things are often hidden, but those are the things that we seek out and chase in our adult relationships. That's why we get all confused. So breaking the cycle of unmet childhood needs, influencing your relationships, isn't actually easy, but it is very possible by recognizing unconscious patterns, understanding the role of familiarity. I know how to be in this. I can run this script over and over and over again, and addressing the paradox of opposites. You can explore the influence of the Oedipal complex and understand your attachment style, engage in self-reflection. That's all education stuff. And then engage in this self-reflection plus knowledge, self-education equals wisdom. Setting boundaries and cultivating self-love, you could begin to build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. And the journey is more than just about finding the right partner. It's about becoming the person you need to be in order to attract and maintain the kind of relationship that truly fulfills you. Would you date yourself? Is maybe a question you could ask. Well, that's a tricky one. I hope you found the video helpful. It is a brief overview. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to share your own experiences or ask questions in the comments below. I am here to help. I will try and answer everything. And as always, until I see you next time, please take very good care of yourselves. Adios.